Welcome to the JSE's Market Data Policy Guide. Our policies are designed to help market professionals and data distributors understand the use of each policy, emphasize the applicability thereof, and enhance the compliance with the regulations pertaining to the use and distribution of our market data. There are 5 documents which make up your agreement with the JSE, and they are JSE Data Agreement or Indices Data Agreement, the Products and Services Form, the Market Data Policies or the Indices Market Data Policies, the JDA, which is the JSE Data Agreements, or IDA, which is the Indices Data Agreement, as well as related price list. Finally, there might be technical documents if applicable. In this session, I will be covering Unit of Count Policy. In this policy, we will cover what is a unit of count, data access through multiple sources, end of day and non-display unit of count, as well as hardware configurations. What is unit of count? Subject to the non-chargeable policy, a chargeable device for which the JSE may charge a fee is any device, be it mobile or non-mobile, that is capable of accessing, receiving, and or displaying any data from one or more sources. Any device that is technically enabled to access any data is chargeable, regardless of whether the data was actually accessed by a person technically enabled to do so. End user fees are charged per data source, per device that is able to access, receive, and or display and or otherwise use the data. Where an end user has access to the same data through multiple sources and branded applications, the unit of count netting rules set out in the following slides apply. Clause 2.2.3, page 25. End user means an individual end user and a juristic end user or both, unless otherwise stated in a contract document. Individual end user means, in relation to data, a user which is an individual person and not a juristic person, and which may use the data for its own internal business activities only. Juristic end user means, in relation to data, a juristic person which may use that data for its internal business activity only. Juristic person means any juristic person, including a company, close corporation, unincorporated association, or body, including a trust, partnership, fund, joint venture, voluntary association, or consortium, body corporate, government, state, agency, organization, or other entity, whether or not having separate legal personality. Internal business activities means, in relation to use of any data, the use of that data only for the internal business activities by employees of the contracted user, and excludes, amongst other things, non-display use and any other use of any data to create any service, product, or other offerings which is accessible by, received by, distributed to, or otherwise used in any other way by any third party. Data access through multiple sources. If an end user has access to the same data through multiple display applications provided by the same branded source, all the applications may be netted to an end user account of 1. In this case, the user receives data from vendor A for 3 different products, and thus it is netted as 1. If an end user has access to the same data through different branded applications provided by different data sources, the applications may be netted per unique source, with each unique source accounting for a separate end user count of 1. In the example below, the 3 sources are JSE, vendor A, and vendor B, used for internal product, vendor A product and vendor B product, and thus will be counted as 3. If an end user has access to the same data through different applications provided through any internal source and/or any external source, applications from the same source which have the same branding may be netted to an end user count of 1. In the example below, the internal product 1 and internal product 2 coming from internal will be netted as 1, and the external data from the vendor product 1 and vendor product 2 will be netted as 1, and thus the total units will be 2. In the event that the user receives data via data feed from a contracted user and provides that data to an end user through multiple branded applications, the display application may be netted per unique brand, with each unique brand being netted to a separate end user count of 1. Data from vendor A goes to a contracted user, vendor A, data feed. The two internals, internal product 1 and internal product 2, will be netted, and vendor B will be a separate unit count, and thus totaling 2. End of day and non-display unit count. The unit of count may differ depending on the data used and the method of distribution. Example, end of day equities data distributed to juristic end user is reported at the corporate level. For non-display use, refer to the non-display policy for the relevant unit of count provisions. Non-display use means the access, processing, consumption, or other use of any data by any person for any purpose other than in support of that person's display or distribution of any data to the internal or external end users. Thank you. For more information, please email mdclients@jse.co.za.